Hey guys, Shadow Man Review here, and today I'm bringing you a bit of a different video than I would normally make. It's mostly speculation and my thoughts on the Shadow Man remake that's upcoming, and some thoughts on the remaster that NightDive's working on too. And yeah, just really, firstly, I'd just like to talk about something that Tim Haywood posted recently. So I'm just going to pause this and let's jump over to Tim's post, where he talks about that the team's working on the console ports and in future bringing a lot more new stuff to the game. So I mean, generally people don't promise things unless there's something good to promise, because they don't really want to let people down. I'm going to talk about what he could possibly be meaning here, but I also want to just briefly think about the fact that this remake trailer that launched could actually be, NightDive could actually be behind this. I think it's unlikely that Valiant, who own the rights to Shadow Man, would give it to two different people. And also the fact that NightDive are working on a full-on remake for System Shock, and that project I think is going to come to an end fairly soon. And maybe Shadow Man's the thing that they want to bring that team onto. They need to, all of those members of staff have to go onto something, so maybe a Shadow Man remake might be the thing to go on to. So let's first of all look at the description of this remake video, and we see here Valiant is mentioned, of course, because they own the game, and that to me makes it seem like there's something legitimate to this. Tim Haywood, of course, he wrote the music, or created the music for Shadow Man, so having him involved obviously makes it legitimate. And the connection with Tim already working with NightDive, to me, makes it feel like it's something to do with NightDive. And Severo is mentioned there. Now, I looked into Anne a little bit and couldn't get the connection to really any gaming studio or NightDive, but whenever I clicked on her LinkedIn profile and went to her art station, you can see she has all these beautiful 2D artworks, and I think it says on her profile that she works a lot. Yeah, she's a 2D artist, an illustrator, and graphic designer, not necessarily to do with games. She works with Adobe Illustrator. Really, I think from looking at this artwork, I think her involvement in this project isn't so much creating any of the game side of it. I think she is primarily responsible for this part. Let's see at the very, I think it's at the, yeah, this artwork here. I think probably whoever commissioned this got Anne to create this artwork. She's not necessarily involved in the remake itself. Let's see, on the bottom here it says music by Tim Haywood, Shadow Man copyright to Valiant, all rights reserved. I mean, potentially this is fan made, but I have a feeling it's not. But so let's talk a little bit then about if NightDive aren't doing this remake. Let's talk about what Tim means by this, a lot more new stuff to the game. Another theory I have about that is that at the bottom he mentions Eric, John, and Kevin, and so I've worked out who these people all are. So Kevin Fox is a creator. Let's start with let's see, Eric. Does he mention? I think he mentions up at the top here. So let's go John first. John Navarro, he mentions here, discovered the Seraph Queen boss, and I thought John was maybe someone who worked at NightDive, but it turns out that John Navarro is actually someone who works on Shadow Man mods, or has done for, like it says here, almost 4 years. So he's a really dedicated fan who actually obviously dug through a lot of the old Shadow Man files, and he found the Seraph Queen artwork. But again, he doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the actual remake. Eric, now let me see here. Eric, oh, I actually don't have Eric. I have someone called Kevin Fox. I'm not sure who Eric is in reference to. I thought Kevin Fox was involved. I think rather than Kevin Fox from NightDive, I think Tim is talking about Kevin Longtime. Now, Kevin Longtime actually created his own remake, fan-made remake of Shadow Man, in the Unity engine. This is what you're seeing on screen now. This is from Kevin's YouTube video. This was uploaded February in 2020, and shortly, I assume after this, Kevin was basically hired by NightDive because he's a dedicated fan of Shadow Man, so he actually is very, very involved in the Shadow Man remaster. And this is, to me, part of the connection that NightDive may be working on a full-on remaster, because they have Kevin involved, and I know that Kevin would have the skills needed to remake Shadow Man. And to me, it just feels like a wasted opportunity not to remake the game, especially whenever they've I mean, essentially Shadow Man Remastered is a remake. The added content was remade, and they've spent like a really long time pulling together all of these files, and really now is the time to do a proper remake. And the team that worked on the remaster is the team to remake it, because they are so involved in it, and essentially they already are remaking the game, because I assumed whenever I first went into the remaster that all of this content was just sitting there, like the new maps, the new bosses, levels, it was just there, they just didn't get a chance to finish it. But no, in fact what happened was NightDive and the likes of Kevin Longtime completely remade these levels from scratch, just from like artwork or like little bits of information they had, but essentially it was remade. So that's part of why at the start of the video I thought that NightDive may be involved in a remake. But the other option here, just going back to this a lot more new stuff to the game, the other option that this could be is, if we look at Kevin's YouTube channel, what he has is he's got these like sort of mods where he's like testing out how to import new assets into the old game. And if we don't get this remake here, like not a full-on from the ground up remake, what NightDive might be working on, and I'd be keen to get everyone's thoughts on this, is they could be just working on like importing 3D models into the current remaster. So it's like, in some ways it's like parts of the geometry and the models are remade. To give you another, well, let's actually play this video. To give another example of this, so Kevin was also working on some of the weapons, and I assume character models would be next on the list in that. So this is just an example of the door working, and the door is now a 3D asset. It's no longer like a 2D texture, I suppose. It's like a proper 3D model there. The next video Kevin has is a high poly weapon. So it might be that these things, I think Kevin was just working on probably for fun in his spare time, just to kind of pull in some of these weapons and models. Maybe the plan for NightDive is like just to go out with a bang and like release a kind of patch or update that gives some high-res models and textures, just to make the game look even better than it already does. But anyway, this, again, like I mentioned at the start of the video, this is mostly speculation. I don't know if NightDive are 100% working on this, but I do think it is possible that NightDive are the people who are behind this. And even though they haven't uploaded this to their official site, maybe this was uploaded to like a kind of dummy YouTube account just to get people's thoughts and reactions. To me, like, if this was just a random fan, they probably wouldn't have named Tim Haywood, and they probably wouldn't have named Anna, and not only named her but paid her money to create this artwork. I assume this was like a freelance paid for thing. So to come up with this at the end, I assume this is going to be used in like further advertising and like videos and things like that, if this becomes more of a thing. Anyway, this was just a speculation video. Love to hear what everyone else's thoughts is. Do you think NightDive are remaking the game, or are they just going to add some new updated assets and models to the remaster? So thanks for watching. I'd love to know what you guys think of the remake or even the remaster. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.